Hello, my name is Kathleen Chiras, and today we will have the pleasure of interviewing one of the top buyer agents of Buyer Agent Search, Luan Meredith. And Luan is a broker owner of a 15-year-old company out of St. Louis, Missouri. She is an accredited buyer's agent, a certified residential specialist, and a graduate of Realtor Institute. It's a very impressive list of credentials, and she is rated as a 10-plus broker in our list of top buyer's agents. A 10-plus rating means that since 2010, she has been rated over and over again with a perfect 10 out of 10 points by real estate buyers and sellers. Her approach to business is simple but to the point: to serve or be of service. I take it you know St. Louis, Missouri inside out and the surrounding areas, I'm sure. Can you tell us something interesting or unique about living there?
It would be my pleasure. I love to talk about my hometown. There's over 2.5 million people who live here in this metropolitan area. We are recently named by Forbes the #2 startup city in the country. We have over 700 life science and ag tech firms. We're the new Silicon Valley of ag tech, if you will. We are one of the greatest educational markets in the country, with over 45 universities and higher education places. We're all about getting smart. U.S. News and World Report called us one of the top 25 most affordable cities to live at in the country. The Federal Reserve says that we are in the 94th percent for standard of living in the metropolitan statistical areas. So it's kind of a well-kept secret from a lot of the country about how reasonable it is to live here, what a wonderful standard of living we have, and we compete around our country very well with other cities. We have 20-minute commute on average to our jobs, and we have a ton of free things that you can do here. For example, the #1 zoo in the world is free, and that's just an amazing place to go. We have the Gateway to the West Arch, which is it's one of the top 7 wonders of the world now, I believe it's called. It's a national museum. We have the Pulitzer Arts Foundation, the Lemire Sculpture Park, Forest Park, outdoor municipal opera. There's a long list, Kathleen. I don't want to bore you with all the details, but I'd love to share them with you someday if you would like.
Well, that's awesome. I'm ready to move back there. Sounds like it's affordable and a really great place to live. Now, as an agent, it's really important in your position to have an in-depth knowledge of the neighborhoods in the St. Louis area. So we want people who watch the video to have an idea of the things to expect if they were going to possibly move there. Could you tell us a little bit about, say, the median price of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in this area?
Single family residential median price is $220,000. That price is up 7.3% over last year. And the inventory is down, the pricing is up. It is definitely a seller's market. However, it's still one of the best places economically to live in our country. The townhomes and villas are a little bit different. Their median price is $175,000, and they are up 10% this year over last year this time. And the same situation is occurring where we have less inventory. Average days on market for a home seller right now is right around 40 days. And I think the national average for someone to close, say you were coming to my city and you were buying a home, it takes you about 50 days from the time you get your contract accepted until the time you're actually walking into your new home. It's a great market for anybody that's looking for a home right now.
If I were coming to St. Louis, if I did decide I wanted to move there, what do you think I should do, a potential buyer like myself, if I were to move there, would do to prepare for their move there?
Well, first you're going to call me and we're going to do a buyer consultation over the phone. Then I will send you an electronic relocation package. Start educating you regarding the neighborhoods in our St. Louis area. There are 93 municipalities in St. Louis metro area, and each one is unique and has its own strengths. We have a synopsis of all those neighborhoods. I will make sure in the relocation package you have access to all of that. That's the first thing, to educate you about the area. Second thing would be to know where you're going to work and which neighborhoods are closer to your work so that you don't have a long commute getting to and from work. So then we would start perusing that local area, more localized area. I would send you some homes that might fit your criteria so that you can look at them in advance on the internet. You know, over 90% of everybody sees their home on the internet first before they ever see it. So we would have you very well educated via the internet on the different homes. And when you come to St. Louis, we would just be zooming in. We would be so focused. It won't take long to find that home.
Can you give us a specific example, Luan, of a buyer that you helped buy a property in St. Louis?
Would love to. Patrick and Lynn came from California. It all started with Patrick reaching out on my website, looking at a home, and I called him. We had that initial buyer consultation talk. I found out what they were looking for. By the time they came to St. Louis, they knew approximately where they wanted to live. They had picked out 12 homes that they wanted to see. I saw them at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. We met for the very first time. We toured several houses. There were, like I said, 12 on the list. But by the time we got to the 6th house, Patrick says, "Oh, honey, let's just go to the one that we like the most." So we went to that one. They were in love with that home. We wrote an offer. We got it accepted that night. The next day, Sunday, they flew back to California with a beautiful home under contract. And within 5 weeks, they were here in St. Louis living the dream.
And what do you do to protect someone who's planning to buy real estate there in the St. Louis area?
Well, I like to say I've got your back. In this industry, it is important that you have someone you trust that is educated and can guide you as you go down the path, because it can be fraught with many challenges along the way. So the first thing that I do is try to educate you about the process. It's my duty as your buyer's agent to promote your interest, to protect your interests with the utmost good faith, fidelity, and loyalty in the purchase of that home. That is a job description that's in writing. We have a written agreement that I'm going to do this for you. The second thing is I negotiate the very best price once we find that house that you like. After it's negotiated, we have it under contract. We have a certain amount of contingencies built right in to the buyer's residential sale agreement. The first one being inspections. I will give you a list of inspectors to choose from. Once your inspections are done, we will have a consultation about the various items that are particular to this home. If, for example, there were tree roots found in the sewer scan and there was a potential blockage, we would be negotiating that in a inspection notice with the seller, asking the seller to fix this item for you before you actually get the house. If the seller doesn't cooperate at any point in here, you can walk away, say, "Give me back my earnest money, let's go find another house." Then that's the building inspection. Then there's the survey. If there's any encroachments, any problems with your survey, we have that same contingency. Then there's the title work from the day of purchase back through the history of that property. That title must be clean and clear of any encumbrances. If not, we're going to resolve the issues, or you're going to walk away and get your earnest money back. The financing is a huge issue. Sometimes, through no fault of your own, there will be an issue with the financing. So if for some reason there is an issue with the financing, you get your earnest money back and you walk away. We protect you from every angle. We try to. And in most cases, I've really never had a problem with a buyer losing their earnest money and not being able to walk to the next house.